know I screwed up. That's actually end of part 5. Welcome to part 6. Nutnfancy's coverage, detailed coverage of my backpacking gear for a heavy duty, very capable, when I say capable, I mean giving me lots of capabilities when I get there, backpacking scenario. And yes, this is stuff I've taken many times. I left off talking about first aid, I think, somewhere along those lines. I did bring this into the mix. This is one of those thermolite bags. It is most excellent. It's by Adventure Medical Kits, and it is a space bag with reflective material in backpack form, and it's very heavy duty. It does weigh a little bit more. I generally will not take it on a multi-day backpacking trip because I generally have a sleeping bag with me. On day hikes, however, you'll see more of this. I always have one. For the hypothermia reasons I've discussed, it's very wise to have that capability. All right, let's get going. We got more to cover. Did I tell you about the Sevylor? I think I did. I take it with me if I'm expecting woods craft. This is kind of I'm going to go up here to this portion of the floor, and this is kind of a luxury, and that's optics. What you're looking at is an 8x21 made in Germany, Dr. Optic. It's outstanding. Very lightweight, around 3-ish ounces. I'm not positive on the weight. I don't always take optics with me. They're a luxury, to be sure. But, man, it sure makes it nice for viewing game at a distance. You know, see if some other people are at your campsite. I mean, I've been, like, backpacked, day hiking away from my campsite with an optic, and I could see some other people walking around my tent and stuff. So sometimes it's good to see what's going on. Now, if you have the weight capability, you might take along a pair of Zeiss compact binoculars. But these are heavier. These are around 9 ounces, which is very lightweight for what they are. I think these are 10-power Zeiss binocs, and I love them. They were expensive, but, man, they're a lot more expensive now. Yes, I'll do binocular reviews. They're coming. I got a lot on my plate, though. I'm pedaling as fast as I can. But these would give you even more capabilities. By the way, these are probably the most outstanding subcompact binoculars I've ever used, these Zeiss. You can look through them all day without eye fatigue, and that's kind of how I define outstanding. Optics, definitely a luxury. Nice to have, though. Again, that's the capabilities I'm talking about. Once you get up there, you're going to be so glad you have them. Like, man, it's nice to have these. But it was a bugger to get them up there sometime. That brings us to camera, and now that I'm in YouTube and doing a lot of stuff with YouTube, that's a lot of extra weight that I'll be carrying in the backcountry with me, to include tripod, camera. Obviously, this will be my backup camera. It's a Casio XLM. Very good camera, but it's not so good on the motion. Extra SD card, extra batteries, carry case. All of these things have to come in the backcountry for me to give you the videos. More weight to carry. Yeah, it sucks. But these videos don't make themselves. Along with that, I would have a shoulder carry method for that camera so that my camera's always ready. This attaches to my pack strap. It is a camelback version. I love it. Super lightweight, and it allows your camera to be right on your pack strap. Now, alternately, I would use this one. This is a Timbuk2 brand, and this also can attach to your pack strap. And do this like so. This is actually a much better carry case than even that camelback because it's padded and it'll keep your camera right there. And also it has an extra pocket for batteries. And I've used these for years and they're just excellent. Hard to find, though, these Timbuk2 camera cases. Actually made for an iPod, I think. The older iPods, and you might have to go to their website to find them. But if you can, they're worth it. Now, speaking of capabilities, remember I tell you I like going to high mountain lakes. And when I get to those high mountain lakes, I like to fish. And so generally that means I'm going to have fishing gear of some sort. Don't mind the GPSs. I'll mention those briefly here in a little bit. But the fishing gear I take is going to be a light spinning outfit. Some of you guys might like a fly rod. Totally dig that. I think I suck as a fly fisherman. And it's a lot easier for me to just use spinning rods. And this is a setup, a little Dewa mini cast system I've used forever. And I've caught a lot of fish on it. And it sure is fun. And fishing and eating the fish once you get them. Nothing like it. And of course, along with that, a selection of lures, maybe a couple weights have to come along. And I'll do my research to the location I'm going. to see what works best there. I'm not the trout fisherman of trout fishermen. In fact, I think I kind of suck. My dad sure was good at it, though. I wish I was as good as he was, but I'm not. But I can use a spinning outfit, and if they're hitting the colors I bring, then I got fish on the table. Another option might be the Daiwa mini spin outfit. This is a purpose-built backpacking system. Has a takedown spinning rod in it. Also a high-quality mini spinning reel with ball bearings in it. Really nice system. I think it is actually, with the carry case, a little bit heavier than my two-piece spinning rod that I'm showing you here. But it's an option. You can find these maybe at campmore.com and other locations. If you're looking for a backpackable fishing outfit, Daiwa mini spin is excellent. Anyways, enough on fishing. More capabilities. And by the way, that fishing outfit dovetails again with that pack raft I showed you over here. Those two things go hand in hand. I've been out in the lake before, getting all kinds of hits in my pack raft, and I see some other dudes on the shore not getting a bite. That is hilarious. That makes me laugh. They go home fishless. I have a ton of fish. Love that. How about the lighting section? Well, some philosophy on lighting. The technology is changing. And currently, my favorite light for backpacking, and this is subject to change, but is this one, the Mechanix L2D. What a great light that is. And I'll do a tabletop on it. I've already shown you how it looks and works in my tactical clinic in the desert. And it is a lot of light. Multi-mode. You can snap on your lantern attachment there, the cone, the light cone, and it will function as a lantern very efficiently, thus replacing my lantern I used to take with me. And it's nice having an area light. It just makes it nice. Until that fire gets going, it's just nice to have some sort of area light. And I think the Mechanix L2D or the single AA model is the way to go now. There's some other great lights out there too, like the Night Core series. But lighting technology has really advanced a lot and just makes it so nice. I will use lithium batteries in these, as I'll say on my tabletop. And they're lighter weight, they're better in colder conditions. And yeah, I got 6 batteries here, but it weighs almost next to nothing. The only downside to lithium batteries is they're expensive. Really expensive, but that's the way it is. I look for them on sale. I got these at Target on sale. Forget the price, but it's as cheap as I've ever seen them. And so I bought them. Most of the stuff I'm showing you, by the way, I get on sale. I rarely pay full price for all the gear you're seeing. If I do pay full price, it's a very fair price. Maybe perhaps like that SP5 knife I got from yourcornerstore.com. Source may change in the years to come, but at the time when I bought it, it was very affordable, less than $50. I think it was like $42 or something, maybe even the 30s. I forget. But man, buy it on sale. Back to light. So one light I used for years and was very happy with it was this UKE Underwater Kinetics, I think is the brand. And it's a 2 CR123 battery light. It's an incandescent light. In other words, it's not LED, but it's pretty darn bright. And it functioned quite well for me for years. And it's really lightweight too. I like that. About an hour burn time is all, just like most incandescents 123 cell-powered batteries are. You do have to twist the bezel on and off. That's a disadvantage, but man, it's light. I like that. What's lighter between that and the Mechanix? Actually, the Underwater Kinetics is. This is actually lighter, but I think the Mechanix is a more capable light for the reasons I've spelled out. I'll always take a headlamp with me in addition to this light, and that might be a luxury to a lot of guys. They'll say, well, why do you have both? Why do you need both? It is a luxury, I admit it, but I like having that area light capability, and I also like having redundancy in my lighting. So probably in the future, this won't come along. Again, I don't take everything I'm showing you. These are just options, but these 2 items probably will come along. And I'll probably swap the L2D out for the single AA model, which I think is a lot of light output for the size and weight. One of the two would come, but I'm also going to have this one. This is a Petzl Tactica headlamp. Great. It's not the super new Luxion or Cree LEDs. I think you'll see those come in the future. But along with those Luxion or Cree LEDs comes a shorter runtime on alkaline batteries. So that might be a little bit disadvantaged. These are the older style LEDs. Puts out enough light, especially when you get out in the middle of nowhere and there's no street lamps of any kind. You'll say, yeah, that's a lot of light. Your eyes will acclimate to that darkness. So these are probably the two lighting products that would come with me. The Phoenix would have the advantage also over the headlamp of being able to cast a beam a lot farther, and that's a good emergency device. If I have a critter coming to camp in the middle of the night, which I've had many times before, it's really a warm feeling to know that you have a light that can illuminate out to, I don't know, 50 yards. It's nice to have. The Phoenix L2D definitely can do that. Nice. Yeah, and I bring the extra batteries. Maybe not that many, but I'll probably bring 2 extra batteries, maybe 2 for the headlamp. And again, it depends on the length of trip that I'm planning. It just depends. In the utility category, I always use like an old credit card or hotel key card, and I wrap some duct tape around it. Not just any duct tape, mind you. I'm very particular nowadays on what duct tape I like, and the only one I think that's worth anything is Gorilla brand duct tape. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm looking for the spool. I lost it in the mess here. Don't know where it went. Trust me though, Gorilla brand duct tape beats even military grade duct tape. It's awesome. And you want a duct tape that will stick. What do I use duct tape for when I'm backpacking? How about preventing blisters? I'll put it directly on my heel if I'm not using a liner sock, or maybe those in my party, when they first start feeling a blister come on, I'll take their shoes and socks off, and I'll use alcohol pads to clean their foot, kind of like these. I always bring some of these too, either in my first aid kit or separately, and then let their foot dry, and then I'll cut off a section of this tape and put it on their heel, and that'll prevent their blister from forming. It also can repair gear, holes in your tent, all kinds of things. Always have duct tape with you. Some other people wrap it around their bottle. That's another way you can carry it. I just use the credit card method or the hotel key method, and that works just great. Along with the utility stuff is I bring 550 cord with me, usually, not always, and that's very helpful too. Especially if I'm in bear country, then I can hoist my food up into the trees and make a cache of some sort using maybe the mesh storage bag that came with my sleeping bag, and that way I keep food out of bear's reach. 550 cord is very advantageous. Another way I'll use it is in that high mountain lake where the water is like 40 degrees towards the bottom, is I'll bring a waterproof sack of some sort, and I'll take my food tied to, again, maybe a mesh bag, and it's a waterproof sack inside, weight it with a rock, toss it out into the lake, and I have a built-in refrigerator. 550 cord rocks. Always bring some, not always, but generally bring some with you. Sunglasses, you betcha, always bring those, along with a way to clean them, because they will get dirty, especially on a 5-day plus trip. How about shoes? Well, I have a whole series of videos out there talking about my philosophy on hiking boots. These are the same boots that I showed you in those. They have super feet inserts in them. These are Merrell boots, outstanding, heavy shank backpacking boots. Enough said on these. If I'm doing a winter camp out though, those are not satisfactory for me. I have to upgrade to a thermal boot. These are Sorel Uplands, no longer being made, sadly, but they have an instep strap on them, and that makes them good for backpacking. The sole on them is general pack sole. It's not that great, and it's not very stiff either, so that sucks. One of these days, someone's going to make a heavy-duty backpacking pack. And I know there's some mountaineering boots out there, but I think they're a little too stiff in the ankle. But I'm learning about those. They might be okay, but they're expensive too. Man, those mountaineering boots are $200. But in the video you saw, what is it, the Cold Steel Adventure? These are the boots I used in that, and they worked fine. But a lot of my weight then, by the way, was being carried on my sled anyhow that I was towing behind me. The advantage of a pack though is they have removable liners that you can take out and dry by the fire. Be careful that you don't melt them. Sometimes they have synthetic in them, mostly wool. And also once they're dry, I can put them inside my sleeping bag and keep them warm. That way when I wake up in the morning and it's 0 degrees outside, I put my liners in and they're somewhat warm and I don't start the day off with frigid feet. But just depends on the conditions, what kind of footwear I take. If I am, again, going in a situation where the temperature range would be 30 to 70, maybe 30 to 90 degrees, which is very, possible in the out of doors, there where I am at least, in the Rocky Mountains, I'll take sandals with me. Not just any sandals, but Tevas. And you guys might be laughing that don't have experience in this. You'll be going, that's stupid. You have boots. Why do you need sandals? Well, take it from me. Do you want to be wearing these around for 5 days around camp? Heavy-duty backpacking boots, especially if you're in your raft, fishing. Yeah, you can go barefoot, but where I go, a lot of these lakes have very rocky shores with very sharp and jagged rocks, and you can easily cut your foot. I'll tell you, talk about good weight, this is it. Teva sandals, and the kinds that have strap-on straps like this that will not fall off, so you can basically backpack in them, at least day hike in them. Generally day hiking I will take my heavier duty boots because it has better ankle protection, better sole protection. But for just light walking around, going down to water filter, and the daily camp tasks that you'll be doing day in, day out to make life possible, Teva sandals rock. And again, that's in temperate climates. If it's wintertime, different. Then I really don't mind wearing these around during wintertime. I need their insulation and protection. What about GPSs? What's your philosophy on that, Nutnfancy? Well, the GPS, and I may do a tabletop on this, don't know. I've had requests for it, but I just got so much to do. One of the GPSs that I love and have used for years, I mean, look at this thing. It's battle worn. Dudes, it is a GPS 60CX by Garmin. Love it. Used it for years. Heavy duty use, actually, as you can tell. Backpacking, vehicle, traveling of all sorts. This thing has seen a lot of use. I think this one is about 5 years old that I've had. And there's a lot to be said for having a GPS. It is weight, though. And you need to determine if that's good weight. A lot of guys watching this going, well, I think it's a waste to take a GPS in the backcountry. I don't. I disagree with that because it simplifies your life so much. I can do routes in the backcountry and find where my start point and everything so readily with the GPS. By the way, it's part 6. I'm out of time. Pick up in part 7. That's fancy.